Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do isn't to speak louder or try harder, it's to simply stop talking. When he keeps coming back in your mind, when you're desperate for answers or explanations, it's natural to want to fill the silence with words. But here's the truth. Silence can be louder than any argument, louder than any plea, louder than any excuse. When you stop explaining yourself, stop justifying your worth, and stop begging for attention, something changes. Your silence becomes a message that he can't ignore. It's a message that says, I'm done convincing you. Now it's your turn to realize. The moment you stop chasing, that's when he begins to hear the truth he was too distracted to listen to before. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself trying to fix a broken connection by explaining your feelings over and over? How many late nights did you spend wondering if your words made a difference? The reality is, they didn't. Not because your feelings weren't real, but because when someone isn't ready to see your value, your words fall on deaf ears. When you embrace silence, you give yourself power. You stop pouring energy into a space that doesn't appreciate it. You allow yourself to heal instead of being stuck in a cycle of frustration and confusion. Your silence isn't weakness, it's strength. It shows you have the confidence to stand firm without needing validation. And this is the moment he notices. He notices the absence of your voice because it breaks the pattern he's grown comfortable with. He realizes that the constant supply of your attention and energy isn't there anymore. Your silence speaks volumes about your boundaries, about how much you value yourself, and how you refuse to be taken for granted. It's in that quiet space that he begins to understand what he's lost. Your silence forces him to confront his own mistakes, his indecision, and the reality of a future without you. It challenges him to wake up from the complacency he had settled into and to reconsider what he really wants. But this silence isn't a tool for manipulation. It's a declaration of self-respect. It's a way of saying, I am worthy of better. I am worthy of clarity. I am worthy of commitment. And when he finally hears that silence, it's often too late because you've already moved on to protect your peace. So remember this, sometimes the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all, and that silence will always speak the truth he was too afraid to face. When someone doesn't want anything serious but still keeps coming back, one of the most powerful things happening beneath the surface is comparison. It's easy to underestimate how much time and energy a person spends comparing what they have with you to everything and everyone else. This isn't about you doing anything wrong or being anything less. It's about the undeniable impact you made, the unique space you filled in their life that no one else can quite touch. He'll watch other people, he'll meet new faces, and yet none of them will bring him the same kind of peace or feeling you once gave him. There's a reason your name keeps creeping into his mind at night. It's because your presence was different, not necessarily because it was perfect, but because it was real. When he sees other women, he starts to realize what he's been missing, and suddenly the value you brought becomes clearer than ever before. What's interesting is that this comparison isn't always conscious. Sometimes it's a quiet, unsettling feeling inside him, a stirring of what could have been or what he failed to appreciate. He starts to notice the small things, how you listened, how you showed up without needing to be asked, how you made him feel like he mattered. Those moments become the standards by which he measures everyone else. And as he does this, you're not just a memory, you're the benchmark. No matter how much he tries to convince himself that casual or fleeting relationships are enough, he can't deny the weight of what you meant to him. This comparison forces him to confront a hard truth that no one else can replicate the connection you had, the authenticity you brought, and the way you made him feel seen and valued. At the same time, this isn't a call for you to wait around or to try to win his approval again. This is about understanding that your value is undeniable, even if he hasn't fully recognized it yet. It's a reminder that sometimes people need to see what they lost through the lens of what's right in front of them. But more importantly, that your worth isn't dependent on their acknowledgement. While he wrestles with these comparisons, you're growing stronger, standing taller, and investing in yourself. You're becoming the best version of you, someone who no longer needs to seek validation from those who don't fully commit. And that growth, it only deepens the contrast between what he has and what he left behind. So yes, he'll compare, he'll try to find someone like you, but deep down, he knows there's no one else quite like you. That realization will keep pulling him back, not because you chased him, but because the standard you set is unmatched and unforgivable. Your power lies in knowing your value and never settling for less than what you truly deserve. When someone keeps thinking about you but doesn't want anything serious, it's often because there's unfinished business between you two. Unspoken words, unresolved feelings, or moments left hanging in the air. This isn't about regret alone. It's about the space you occupied in their life that hasn't been fully understood or accepted yet. That silence between you is louder than you think, and it echoes in their mind when everything else quiets down. Unfinished business creates a kind of emotional tension that's hard to ignore. It's the part of a story that hasn't been fully told, the conversations that never happened, the explanations that were never given, the what-ifs that keep bouncing around. It nags at the mind, especially at night when distractions fade and reality settles in. This is why they keep coming back in their thoughts, trying to piece together what went wrong or what could have been. Sometimes, this unfinished business isn't just about the relationship itself, but about what you represented to them. Maybe you challenged their ideas about love, commitment, or even themselves. Maybe you showed them a version of connection that they weren't ready to handle but can't forget. This leaves a mark, a reminder that there was something real, something meaningful, even if it was complicated or imperfect. It's important to recognize that this feeling is not a weakness or a sign of failure on your part. It's a natural human response to something that was significant but left open-ended. They are wrestling with their own fears, doubts, and insecurities, and your presence in their mind is a reflection of those internal battles. For you, the lesson is clear. Never underestimate the power of clarity and closure in your life. While they are stuck with their unfinished business, you have the opportunity to move forward with purpose. You can decide to either seek your own peace by addressing what needs to be said, or, if that's not possible, by fully releasing what no longer serves you. This is where personal responsibility comes into play. You don't owe anyone explanations that drain your spirit, but you owe yourself the freedom to heal and grow. Don't let their indecision or inability to close the chapter keep you trapped in a cycle of waiting or hoping. Your power lies in choosing your peace over their confusion. So, as they wrestle with the unresolved, you rise above it with clarity and strength. You know your worth, and you refuse to be defined by what's left unfinished or uncertain. This is your moment to take control of your story and walk confidently into your future. When someone says they don't want anything serious but still wants to see you, it often means they're holding on to a connection that feels safe, familiar, and comfortable. It's not always about love or commitment. Sometimes it's about the ease you bring into their life, the space where they don't have to put on a mask or pretend to be someone they're not. This comfort becomes a magnetic force, pulling them back even when their mind says otherwise. Think about it. Life is complicated, stressful, and full of expectations. When someone finds a person who makes them feel relaxed and understood without pressure, it's a rare kind of refuge. You become their place of calm in the storm, even if they aren't ready to claim anything deeper. That kind of connection can keep them coming back night after night, even if they won't admit it out loud. But this comfort can also be a double-edged sword. It can lull both people into a false sense of security, making it harder to see the truth about where things are headed. They might convince themselves that what they have with you is enough for now, a distraction or a way to fill loneliness, without facing what real commitment would require. Here's the key. Comfort doesn't equal fulfillment. While they enjoy the peace you bring, deep down, there's a part of them that knows this isn't the whole story. They might feel stuck between wanting to hold on to that comfort and fearing the vulnerability that comes with something serious. For you, recognizing this dynamic is crucial. You deserve more than just being a safe place for someone else's uncertainty. You deserve someone who chooses you fully, not just when it's convenient or comfortable. Your worth goes beyond being the easy option or the one who fills empty moments. This is where you must take your power back and set clear boundaries. Comfort is not a substitute for love, respect, or commitment. Don't let their need for ease keep you waiting in a place that doesn't honor your full value. True growth comes when you refuse to settle for less than you deserve, even if that means walking away from what feels safe. Because what feels comfortable today might be the very thing holding you back from the love and life you're meant to have. Remember, your peace and happiness are worth more than temporary comfort. Choose yourself, always. When he doesn't want anything serious but still wants to see you, it often means he's wrestling with his own fears. Fear of commitment, fear of losing freedom, fear of vulnerability. These fears are real, and they shape his actions in ways that might confuse or hurt you. Understanding this doesn't excuse the behavior, but it helps you see what's really going on beneath the surface. Fear of commitment is powerful. It's the fear of binding yourself to someone and risking everything you've built, your independence, your identity, your dreams. For some, commitment feels like a cage rather than a home. So instead of stepping fully into a relationship, he lingers in the space where it feels safe, seeing you without fully committing, holding on without investing his whole heart. This fear often hides behind mixed signals and confusion. He wants your company, your warmth, your presence, but he's not ready to be all in. That internal battle creates a kind of emotional paralysis. He's stuck between what his heart may want and what his mind is afraid to lose. It's important for you to recognize that his fear is about him, not you. It's not a reflection of your worth or your value. You deserve someone who is ready to face those fears head on. Someone who chooses you with clarity and courage, not hesitation and doubt. You have to be honest with yourself about what you want and need. If he's not ready to commit, you cannot fill that gap for him. Your peace, your future, and your happiness are not bargaining chips for his fear. This is where your strength comes in, choosing yourself above his fears. Knowing your worth means not waiting on someone to overcome what they're not willing to face. True growth in any relationship comes when both people bring their whole selves, not just fragments held back by fear. So, honor your own heart by not settling for less than what you deserve, because love without commitment is just a shadow of what's possible. You deserve a love that's ready, willing, and fully present. When he doesn't want anything serious, but still wants to see you, it often means he's holding on to the idea of what you represent rather than who you truly are. Sometimes, people are attracted not to the real person in front of them, but to the version they imagine, the feelings you evoke, or the comfort you provide. This can create a powerful pull that keeps him coming back, even if he's not ready to commit. He might be caught up in nostalgia, remembering the good times, the laughter, the connection that felt easy. It's like a movie playing in his mind where everything was perfect, but reality doesn't always match the story he's replaying. This version of you becomes a safe place for his mind to escape to, a fantasy that doesn't require change or responsibility. In this space, he holds on to hope without action. He convinces himself that what you share is special enough, even if it's not what he needs for the future. The pull of this imagined relationship can be strong because it feels good, even if it's not real or lasting. This is why you sometimes see people coming back into your life with mixed intentions. They want the feeling, not the full reality. They want what comforts them without stepping into the challenges that true love and commitment require. For you, this means understanding that being wanted for a feeling isn't the same as being chosen for a lifetime. You deserve someone who sees all of you, the real, imperfect, powerful you, and still chooses to stay. You have to protect your heart from being caught in someone else's fantasy. Your value is not tied to the memories or feelings you inspire, but to who you are now and who you are becoming. Don't let someone's desire for comfort trap you in a cycle of waiting for a reality that may never come. True love demands presence, clarity, and commitment, not just longing or nostalgia. Choose to step into a love that honors your reality, not just his imagination. You deserve to be fully seen, fully loved, and fully chosen. Sometimes, when he doesn't want anything serious but still wants to see you, it's because he's using you as a safe place to land, a comfort zone that shields him from the uncertainties and risks of real intimacy. It's easier to stay in what feels familiar, even if it's not fulfilling or honest, rather than stepping out into vulnerability that could lead to growth or change. No matter how much he craves your presence, because it fills a space in his life that feels empty. But he's not prepared to dive deeper. This can happen when someone is unsure of their own path or feels unstable emotionally. Instead of confronting their own challenges, they lean on the connection you provide as a temporary relief, a way to feel whole without doing the hard work of commitment. This dynamic can create an unbalanced relationship where one person invests emotionally and hopes for more, while the other stays distant, cautious, and uncommitted. It's a painful place to be because it keeps you hanging on, waiting for something that may never arrive. You have to recognize that no matter how much comfort you offer, it will never be enough to fill his inner gaps. He has to want to heal and grow for himself. That's the only way real change can happen. You cannot be the solution to his indecision or fear. Your strength lies in setting boundaries that protect your heart and your future. When you understand that comfort without commitment isn't love, you gain the power to walk away and demand more from life and relationships. It's not about punishing him or closing doors. It's about honoring yourself enough to wait for the kind of connection that fuels your soul and uplifts your spirit. True love requires courage, the courage to be vulnerable, the courage to be honest, and the courage to leave behind what no longer serves you. Don't settle for being a safe harbor when you're meant to be a true partner in life's journey. You deserve a love that challenges you, grows with you, and stands firm beside you. When he doesn't want anything serious, but still wants to see you, it often means he's stuck in a place of fear, fear of losing control, fear of commitment, fear of being vulnerable. Commitment isn't just a word, it's a decision to show up fully, to expose your true self, and to take responsibility for something bigger than yourself. And that's scary for many people. Some men struggle with this because they've been hurt before, or maybe they grew up watching relationships fall apart. Their fear doesn't come from you, it comes from inside them. They are afraid of repeating past mistakes or getting hurt again. So they create a barrier between you and themselves by saying they don't want anything serious, but their actions tell a different story. They still want to see you because part of them craves connection, but their fear holds them back. Because this fear manifests in avoidance, avoiding the hard conversations, avoiding making plans, avoiding the vulnerability that real love demands. They want the warmth and closeness, but without the risk. It's like standing on the edge of a cliff, wanting to jump into the water, but too afraid to take the leap. What you need to realize is that no matter how much you love or want to support him, you cannot fix his fear for him. That's his battle, not yours. Your role is not to be his therapist or his crutch. You can encourage growth, but the willingness to face fear must come from within him. At the same time, don't mistake his fear for lack of love or caring. Fear can make someone act confusingly, but it doesn't mean their feelings aren't real. The problem is that fear stops progress, traps potential, and keeps both of you stuck in a limbo where nothing grows. For you, this means learning to see past the excuses and the mixed signals. It means understanding that his fear is a reflection of his own inner world, not a reflection of your worth. It's about valuing yourself enough not to wait forever in uncertainty. The moment you choose to refuse being the safety net for his fear, you open the door to your own freedom. Freedom to find someone who's ready to face life challenges with you, who isn't held back by fear, but inspired by love and possibility. Remember, courage is contagious. When you stand firm in your own worth and refuse to accept less, you inspire others to face their fears too. You deserve someone who doesn't just want to see you, but who's ready to walk the path of life with you, fear and all. Love is brave, commitment is brave. Don't settle for anything less than that bravery standing beside you. There comes a moment when you realize that if he truly wants to come back to you, he will have to confront the changes inside himself first. Change isn't easy. It demands reflection, humility, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. Before he returns, there will be a period where he's wrestling with his own shortcomings, mistakes, and the lessons life has forced upon him. This is the unseen battle that takes place long before he reaches out again. It's easy to focus only on the moment when he calls or walks back into your life. But the truth is, the real transformation happens behind the scenes, in the silence when no one is watching. He will be forced to look in the mirror and confront the parts of himself he has avoided, those fears, those behaviors, those wounds that kept him from being the partner you deserve. This process is painful because it requires honesty. It requires him to admit where he went wrong, to acknowledge how he hurt you, and to genuinely want to be better. Not just to get you back, but because he sees the value in growth itself. If he rushes back without that inner work, nothing will have changed. The cycle will repeat, and the same pain will find you again. You, on the other hand, have been growing too. You've been learning to stand on your own, to find your strength, and to redefine what you want and need from love. You've been healing. And this healing makes you different from the person you were before. So if he comes back expecting the old version of you, he will be in for a surprise. That's why it's so important not to lower your standards or rush back into something just because it feels familiar. True love honors growth. It respects the changes both people make on their own journeys. When he does come back, it will be because he's ready to meet you as an equal, someone who has her own life, her own dreams, and her own boundaries. You deserve that kind of love, not the kind that shows up in moments of loneliness or convenience, but the kind that chooses you even when it's hard. When he is ready to come back, it will be because he has done the work, because he understands that love is not just about feelings, but about commitment, respect, and responsibility. And if he's not ready, don't be afraid to keep walking forward without him. Because sometimes the greatest gift you can give yourself is the courage to let go and make space for what is truly meant for you. When he comes back, it will not be a return to the past. It will be the beginning of a new chapter, one written with wisdom, strength, and real love. That is the power of growth, and that is the power you hold. There's something powerful about the way time changes everything, especially when it comes to relationships and the space between two people. Before he comes back to you, time will have done its work, even if it doesn't feel obvious at first. Time is more than just the passing of days. It's a teacher, a healer, a mirror, reflecting what was, what is, and what can be. In that time apart, he will be forced to face the reality of what he lost. It's in the quiet moments, in the solitude of night, or the emptiness of his routine that he will realize the depth of what you meant to him. It's easy to take someone for granted when they're there, easy to overlook the little things that made the connection special. But once the distance grows, those small moments become powerful reminders of what truly mattered. Time strips away distractions and excuses. It peels back layers of denial and pride, revealing the raw truth that he might have avoided before. He will begin to understand not just that he misses you, but why he misses you, what it is about you that made an impact, what parts of your presence filled a space in his life no one else could. This realization is crucial because without it, coming back means nothing. He could come back out of loneliness, boredom, or convenience. But that's not the kind of return that transforms lives. What matters is when time has opened his eyes and softened his heart enough to see you clearly, not as a fallback, but as someone worthy of respect and love. Meanwhile, time has changed you as well. You've been growing in ways he may not even notice. You've been building boundaries, learning to value yourself, and creating a life that doesn't depend on his presence to feel whole. This is the most important transformation because it means that when he returns, he will be meeting a version of you who won't settle for less than she deserves. Because of this, the dynamic between you shifts. You're no longer someone to be taken lightly or treated as a backup plan. Time has shown you your worth, and you won't give your heart to someone who isn't fully committed. This is your power, and it changes everything. If he truly wants to come back, time will have prepared him to be ready, not just to show up, but to stay and build something real. It will have given him the chance to grow from his mistakes, to mature in his feelings, and to understand that love requires more than just desire. It requires effort, patience, and loyalty. But here's the secret many don't realize. Time doesn't guarantee that he will come back. It only guarantees that if he does, it will be for the right reasons. If he isn't willing to grow and commit, time will continue to move forward without him. And that's okay, because your future isn't tied to someone who can't see your value. So when you think about why he will come back, remember the power of time. It's not just about waiting, it's about becoming stronger, wiser, and more certain of what you want. It's about trusting that the right person will come back when the time is right. And until then, you keep moving forward. Because the woman who knows her worth doesn't wait endlessly for someone who isn't ready to give her the love she deserves. She lives boldly, she loves fiercely, and she trusts that what's meant for her will never pass her by. And that is the promise time holds for you.